Hey ambitious professionals, it's Linda Rayner of lindarayner.com, career strategist and intuitive purpose coach. I help driven professionals like you to enhance your personal brand so that you can pursue a career you'll truly enjoy. So in today's video, I really want to talk about a topic that has been asked quite a bit in my mastermind group. By the way, if you haven't joined it yet, you definitely want to join the Ambitious Professionals Mastermind Facebook group. It's a free group where over 1,500 professionals have joined from all around the world and are currently supporting each other, helping each other out as they pursue careers they truly enjoy. So you definitely want to join the group. But back to what I was saying, the one question that's been asked pretty often in that group is, what's the best way to switch careers when you've worked in one particular industry or field for several years? The biggest barrier that I think many professionals feel, and this is something that you may feel as well, is that because you don't have the exact same job experience for a position that you want to get into, that all of a sudden it's impossible for you to take on that job, that you feel stuck and you really don't know what to do to get you into that new position. Well, I have 4 key tips that I think will really help you to reframe your mind so that you can start to really get yourself in the direction of making that career change that you really want. Tip number 1 is to leverage what you have to change your environment. If you're working in a certain type of workplace setting or environment that is not at all aligned with the type of environment that you would love to get into, then the first thing is to change your environment. So for example, let's say that you are a researcher or a scientist that currently works in a lab. And you've realized after a year or so or more of working there that it really isn't the type of job that is aligned with who you really are. It's not aligned with your natural inherent talents. And you start to have these visions of yourself working in a corporate environment, working maybe in an office, wearing a suit to work or wearing heels to work, depending on what you like. And you see yourself maybe doing something more exciting as opposed to doing research in a lab. Maybe that's to do marketing or branding. So before you ask yourself, how do I get myself a marketing job? Reel yourself in a little bit and actually ask yourself, how do I get myself out of this lab? Start to think of how can I get myself into the right working environment first. So in this case, you can go work for a pharmaceutical company or you can go work at a medical-based type of company because they will probably value your experience and skills and knowledge that you currently have, and they will have opportunities available to you that you could start to maneuver your way into so that at least to start, you're in the right environment. You're putting yourself in the right setting so that eventually, hopefully, you can pursue that career of getting into marketing. Tip number 2 plays off of tip number 1, and that is, if the ideal role you want isn't possible for you right now, find an in-between. This is something that so many professionals don't realize they need to be doing. They want to make that instant leap. I'm a lab scientist and I want to be a marketing brand manager. How do I make that instant leap in one day, in one step or less? It's just simply not possible. Nothing in your life happens instantly, and especially in your career. You have to be willing to take calculated, guided steps if you really want to find and pursue a career that is truly meaningful for you. And I know it's cliche to say this, but it truly is about the journey, not the destination. So what you really want to do is actually envision your destination, which is, let's say you're that lab scientist, you want to be a marketing brand manager. So you see that you know where the destination is and you see where you are currently. So kind of look at it as a high-level map. Zoom into the map and start to identify what are the roads or the detours that I need to take in order to get myself to that final destination? And what I mean by that is, what are the intermediate positions that you would probably have to do in between before you can get yourself to that marketing position? It's all about getting yourself one step closer each and every time to the ultimate goal that you want to take on, that ultimate position that you want to have. So if we go back to the lab scientist and marketing brand manager example, what are some positions that would be outside of the lab but would get me a little bit closer to the marketing job that I want to take on? Examples could be maybe getting into pharmaceutical sales or getting into an operations role that is still more of a corporate position as opposed to a lab type of position. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably going to say, oh, but no, I don't want to do any of those jobs. I just want to do marketing. I just want to do that one ultimate thing. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. Just because you want it doesn't mean that you can be handed that job right away. You have to earn it. You have to be able to develop the skill sets and the experiences that are going to more closely relate to that position, that ultimate position that you want to get into, before you can actually jump into and dive into that position. Unless you're in a position that is already pretty closely relevant to the position that you want to get into, if it is completely drastically different, then you have to leverage everything you have to get yourself into the next best position that's still on that path of getting you to where you want to go. Essentially, you just have to ask yourself, what is the right next step for me? What is the right next position that I know is going to get me closer to my ultimate goal? And truth be told, you have to have that willingness to take that route and go about it that way. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting around waiting and hoping that your dream job's going to show up one day, that somebody's going to give you a chance, and unfortunately, that's just not how it's going to happen. Now, tip number 3 is to match your resume to the positions that you want to apply for. Here's an analogy that I kind of came up with, and I want to share it with you guys. So let's just say you're selling your house, and you know that your house is going to be really attractive for people with young families, couples with young families, or people that are just about to start their families, maybe married couples that want to get into the neighborhood and they want to buy this home and start their family. If you know that that's the likely buyer that's going to come out of this whole process of selling your house, then you obviously want to attract that buyer as much as possible to the home. For example, your real estate agent may suggest a few things that you can do, and that would be perhaps keep the baby furniture, the baby room's furniture up in the room, so that any potential buyers may see the nursery and then they can envision the nursery for themselves one day. Or perhaps keep up pictures of family, baby pictures, family photos on the walls. Keep things feeling and looking like it would be a perfect home for a starter family. After doing all of that, implementing all these little ways of inserting these ideas into these potential buyers' minds that this is a perfect home for someone who wants to start a family, who do you think is going to end up being the likely buyer of the home? Just a wild guess, it's probably going to be a young family, somebody that would find that this happens to be the perfect fit for them, for their next step in their lives. And what I want you to understand is that your resume is essentially like this home. Your resume has to be catered and framed for the right person to read it. You have to be able to leverage the experience that you already have. You want to cater it to an employer that would be interested in hiring someone with your background, but also can see how you would fit into that next position as a pharmaceutical sales rep, let's just say. Any position, really. Anytime that you're applying to a new role, you want to make sure that you cater yourself and you speak to the audience who is going to be reading that resume. You can't be giving in the same resume across the board and explaining all the things that you've done in that role if they're not even relevant to the position that you want to get into. I've actually developed a whole slew of strategies and formulas on exactly how to do this step by step. It's all in my course, Top Notch Resume, which is my step-by-step system on how to create a resume from start to finish that stands out and actually gets you the job. You can click on the link below underneath where you can get a sample of some of my resumes as well as notifications on when the next enrollment happens for the Top Notch Resume course. And lastly, tip number 4 is to envision yourself in the job that you'd love to do and believe that it will happen. Some of you may think this is woo-woo, but I don't think so. I highly believe in the idea of visualizing your future in order to achieve what you want. When you can visualize where you're going, what it's going to look like, then it gives you clarity, it gives you direction, you have a sense of purpose behind your actions, and it motivates you to get up every day and to execute and do what you need to do to get where it is that you want to go. So the more you can visualize and feel and believe that it's there for you, that it is possible for you, the more likely that it's going to happen. Of course, visualizing alone without taking the right action steps and without finding the right ways to approach your career is useless. So use the resources that you have, learn what you can through this journey, be flexible, be willing to make decisions that may not necessarily appear at the beginning to directly get you to where you want to go, but as long as it's getting you closer to where it is that you want to go, that's all that matters. Just think about that first next step in front of you. At the end of the day, it's all about you having the willingness to do everything in your power to go after the career that is going to be truly meaningful and fulfilling for you. So there you have it, my 4 tips on how to successfully change careers. So if you're someone who's wanting to switch careers and you're not really sure how to go about doing it, especially when it comes to writing your resume and making sure that it matches to the career that you want to get into, then I highly recommend taking my top-notch resume course. It is my step-by-step system on exactly how to create a standout resume that actually gets you the job. This is the approach that I've taught only to my private clients, and I can tell you I've had multiple success stories of my clients who previously were not even getting interviews, and then after using this approach and applying it to their resume and sending out that particular resume, they were not only getting more interviews, but they got job offers out of them as well. So this is something that I highly recommend you take. What you can do is head on over to lindarainer.com/samples, and from there you'll get a free copy of my resume samples, as well as you'll be notified on when the next round of enrollment will open up for Top Notch Resume. Also, if you haven't already, then join the Ambitious Professionals Mastermind Facebook group, where over 1,500 other professionals worldwide have gathered together to support each other and be positive and helpful to each other as they all pursue careers that they truly love. So you definitely want in on that group, and feel free to join. The link is down below. If you liked this video, then please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends, and let them know that this channel is all about helping driven professionals like you to enhance your personal brand so that you can pursue a career you'll truly enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.